late this morning. Family, it just be life. And sometimes life just be life. And, it's just that simple. But good morning to you, family. Let's make sure we're getting out there. How are you doing today, Miss Smith?
I'm doing well. You don't seem like you're doing well. Are you sure we're getting out of here?
I'm not sure. We are getting out. Yeah, we're getting out here. Morning, yo, family. Morning, yo, morning, yo. I am Smitty Smith.
And I am June Smith, River City Blues Realty. And as regular folk, we get here late and we're going to leave early.
She ain't never lied. Get to work late and leave work early. That's what y'all get today, family.
That's right.
Y'all getting it real. Y'all getting it for real, for real, for real. We got 3 for reals with this June. Mm-hmm. But morning, yo, family. June and I, we'd like to welcome you to April the 8th.
Woo!
268 more opportunities, 260 more great morning yos, and I look forward to each and every one of them, because each and every one is a small step, and small steps equal big grooves. And big grooves, man, makes others available to make big moves in the grooves that I created. I am a frontiersman. You hear that, June Smith?
That's right.
Frontiersman. June Smith, you are a frontiersman. You are cutting a path for others to follow. And that family, that is such a blessing to me to know that my legacy, our legacy, June Teresa Smith's legacy, and my Smitty Smith legacy, is chopping through the weeds, clearing a path for others to follow all the way home. You put good afternoon, June. You trying to be a wise guy? We's way late. But we's late, but we still going to be great. I'm telling you, family, sometimes you start your day late, but you still make up your mind that I'm going to make it great because I can.
That's right.
And we call that crazy faith, family. Crazy faith says I can do anything, even if I'm late arriving.
That's right.
But we still going to do it, family. We got to do this because it's a blessing even to be here. It is such a meaningful conversation to be around, to be alive, to exist today. I know there's a bunch of craziness going on.
Yes.
But how do we counter that craziness, June? By being crazier than the craziness.
That's right. So let's start since we're late. Such a long intro.
Well, I'm just saying, family. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there because I'm feeling it today.
All right.
I'm still gonna be great. And my crazy faith, the crazy faith in me, says that I can do that. It gives me permission. It allows me to just know what I know. And June, I believe you're gonna be great too today. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the fun, put you in the struggle, June. I believe that you're gonna be just as great as I'm gonna be great. All right, let me move something around here real quick just to make sure.
I believe it.
I got everything set
Dante's
up.
watching. Good morning, Dante Green.
Good morning, Dante
and
Green.
Chloe is near you.
Again, welcome you to our Grits and Grants Crazy Faith. Crazy Faith, Grits and Grants, late, but I'm great. June?
Mm-hmm.
And, and what allows me to be great, June, is, well, it's you. It's you. Yeah, it's you. It's you. It's you, girl. It's all you, girl. When you have 2, you can get more done. We call that exponent. 2 times 2 is 4. But 4 times 2 was what? 16.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop there because I don't want to make any mistakes. But seriously, family, and, June, sometimes your boundaries have to expand beyond what your comfort level is.
Okay.
And in the past, I would be late, this would go wrong, that would go wrong, this would go wrong, that would go wrong. And kind of just, you can use that as an excuse to blow up your entire day.
Mm-hmm.
June, you start off the morning late and it just kind of flows through the entire day.
Yes.
And yesterday we had a tough day. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was a damn dogged real estate day.
It was.
But that was yesterday though, family. But today, when I expand my boundaries, I expand the possibilities that this doesn't have to follow yesterday. Yesterday is yesterday. Today can be totally different. I mean, it can be a continuation thereof, or it can be an opportunity to be something different. That's what excites me, June.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of being different, doing different.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me make sure I'm not frozen up here. Yeah, I'm not.
No,
being different, doing different. And you know, we've been keeping it real for the last week and a half, June, and I kind of like that. You know, our goal is to get to the better me. We've been using real estate terms to wrap around real life.
That's right.
Because real estate is real life. It's amazing.
So how does real estate equate to boundaries? I don't understand.
Well, you know, it does, June. When most of us in the olden days, in the olden days, you used to buy a home. It was required that you get a survey done.
That's right.
That's when you would hire a surveyor, a professional, to come out and mark the boundaries of the properties that you're buying.
He's been watching too much Yellowstone, y'all.
I have been watching. I've been Yellowstone in 1941 and it up, family. I'm ready to move to Wyoming. But June, you know, and you are owning the dirt.
Yes.
This is my dirt. I want y'all to feel that. I own this right here.
Our blood was spilled.
I fought.
That's right.
You know, manifest destiny. You know, whatever you want to call it. But these four corners, this is my stuff. And I want to know exactly every inch of what I own.
That's right.
And that, family, the best way to achieve that here today is a survey.
That's right.
You hire a professional, he comes out, and they mark your property lines. Normally, they'll put pins in the ground, metal pins in the ground, and they'll tie orange and yellow flags to it so that you can clearly identify this you do own, this you don't own.
Yeah, this here property's bond.
Yeah, this is it, you know.
I'm going to spikes in the ground. It says so.
Good morning, Yvonne. No, but seriously, June said it. This is mine. This is Smitty and June Smith right here, you know. And you don't raise your cattle on my land.
That's right.
And I don't raise my sheep on your land.
Nope.
Or we be a feuding, okay?
We be feuding.
You know, the Hatfields and the McCoys family. You know, June, but that works the same way in life, June.
Mm-hmm.
When I do a survey and I set boundaries for myself, I don't want anyone to infringe upon my boundaries.
That's
You
right.
know, we all have that personal space when we talk to people. You know, you're not supposed to come but so close to me.
Ooh,
you know,
that's one of my pet peeves.
That's a boundary. You know, that's a well accepted boundary.
That's right. If I can smell what you had for breakfast, you're too close.
Exactly.
Back up.
Okay, but okay. Take it to Miss Smith to make it for real, for real.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, you know. But that is a boundary. So June, I say that we should all do a survey of ourselves. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not so good at. This is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. And throughout the day, June, I'm making sure that nobody infringes upon my personal boundaries. You can't bring drama
Okay.
into my boundary. My four corners, June.
Yeah.
You know, you don't infringe upon my four corners, okay? Because I'm serious, family. Folks are committed to protecting what they own. But I own me. I own my hope. I own my dreams. I own my drive. I own my determination.
But I just want to share the day I was having. It was
I
not a
know
good
it.
day.
I don't care.
What? Here we go with that. I don't care yet.
I don't care. You know, June, and we put up no trespassing signs. We have ways of making it clear on our property that we don't want to be bothered, right?
Yes.
No trespassing, no soliciting, you know, protected by Smith and Wesson. You know, we have
Beware the dog.
beware the dogs. Yeah, you know. So we all have these signs that we put out to protect our physical property. What about the physical me, June? What about?
You know, I need to have a sign that says "Beware the dog in me."
Yeah. Okay. Roof, roof. Or
That's
that.
right. Because I could bite now.
But seriously, family, think about it a moment. What if when I do a survey around myself, all right, and you're not allowed to trespass. I can invite you in, but you cannot invite yourself in because I have a no trespassing sign.
Talking about people.
Yeah,
Talking about things. Talking about your day.
Yeah. You
Your
know,
problems.
absolutely, family. One of the main rules in life is don't come visiting without first calling.
Okay, yeah.
You know, isn't that sign of setting up a boundary?
Yeah, it is.
Setting up some parameters.
That's right.
Okay. All right. You can do this if you do this, if I give you permission. Family works the exact same way. In real estate, The lender sometimes requires a survey so that the lender knows what they're investing in. You want a survey so that you know what you own, and then you mark your survey, you mark your area so that to clearly define these are my personal boundaries.
And we had a situation like that a couple of years ago with one of our clients that bought a house and the neighbor put up a fence.
Yeah, on their property.
On their property.
No, man, that is definitely not allowed.
I had to take it down.
I had to take it down. The neighbor wasn't happy. So what?
She waited until he finished. Too.
So
you finished? Okay.
Now move it. Now move it. Now move it 2 inches.
That's right.
2 inches, family.
Mm-hmm.
But what's mine is mine.
That's right.
All right? And I'm not going to let you usurp 2 inches of my land or 2 minutes of my time.
Yeah. And it would have actually been more than 2 inches because if you had to repair it, he would have to go round on her side of the house even more.
That's a whole nother issue. How many times do people come on your property to fix their problems?
Yeah.
Y'all, I want y'all to feel that. You are standing on my property. You bring your problems to my side of my property to fix your side of your property.
Yeah.
That can't be right, family. That can't be right. No.
You know what? Some of the questions I get also it's always about that tree's over the fence over my. Can I cut it down? Cut the limbs?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, you can. You can cut anything that if it hangs over my property, I own it.
Okay.
I can't go onto my neighbor's property to cut it down.
No.
But if a tree limb is hanging over my property, if by tree limb I'm referring to a friend or family member that's infringing upon my quiet enjoyment of what I own, I have the right to cut it off.
What do you mean cut it off? You mean shoot them?
Well, you know.
You're talking about the Wild Wild West, right?
You know, whatever it takes. I mean, you know, whatever it takes.
No.
You know, no. But June, if it's infringing upon my quiet enjoyment of what I own,
you tell them
I have the right. I have the right
to tell him to go away.
To remove it.
By telling him to go away. These thoughts. These thoughts and statements are brought to you slowly. Slowly. And I meant to say slowly by Smitty Smith.
I'm just saying, family, what's mine is mine, you know. Dorothy said, there's a reason why stuff like that doesn't happen to me. I would have burned it down.
Oh, Lord.
Seriously. Calling the fire department to report a fire. You know, and I believe Dante would. You know, I just get the feeling he would, June.
That's why y'all such good friends.
Yeah, you know. But family, a survey. I am going to mark my boundaries today. You know what, June? This is the amazing thing. If I, as a person, I'm an individual, if I mark my boundaries today, I could actually move them. I can't move the physical boundaries of my property, but I could move the physical boundaries of me. And that's what makes me greater than property, June, because I'm changing, I'm evolving, I'm not the same. The 4 corners of our property are here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the same today, and it's the same tomorrow. But unfortunately, that's the way some of us live. Once we have our boundaries, we don't dare to venture beyond our boundaries. Our boundaries keep others out, but it also keeps us in if we're not careful how we approach this.
Yeah.
You know, June, we got to be bigger than our 4 corners while maintaining our 4 corners. Y'all feel that, family? And many times that is a direct conflict. Okay? I am so big, I am so great, I am so crazy to know, June, that you and I, we can grow beyond our boundaries. But I also know that Smith & Wesson says no. So family, how can we have it both ways? Because we can. That's what's crazy about us, folks, is that we can grow beyond our boundaries. We can expand, we can move our boundaries wider and wider and wider, but there is a minimum space that shall not be moved. And that minimum area that shall not be removed are my hopes, my dreams, my drive, my determination, my crazy faith, my family, my success, our success. At a minimum, stays. Everything else can grow. I can walk beyond my personal space, but I'm gonna come back to the basic me. What do you think, June? Basic me?
Yeah, that's important. You have to have a personal space.
Yeah, yeah. And is it fair
No
to
matter how much I love Smitty, I have my personal space that he cannot enter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I absolutely agree, June. You know, and it works the same way with family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should work the same way with friends and coworkers.
Oh, yes, definitely. But you know, some people find it so difficult, including me when I was younger, to set that boundary.
Yes.
Because it was rude.
Yeah, it's mean.
You're
She's
being
mean. She's not
Why can't
friendly.
you're supposed to be my friend. Why
Yeah.
can't I talk to you about my problems?
Yeah.
Because I ain't your counselor.
Yeah. Why can't I bring my problems to you? Why can't I drop my problem? Here's one. Why can't I dump my problems on your property?
Because I got my own. I got my own problems.
Yeah, that's what people like to do. They like to come on your property, dump their problems, leave
their problems. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah,
I feel better. I don't. I don't. Not anymore.
I planned on having a good day. Now I got to enjoy my lunch, or not enjoy my lunch, with something that I can't even change.
Oh, and what about the people that constantly keep dumping their problems? You give them advice to change their problems, but they keep going back.
Because they don't want your advice. They just
want to dump.
They just want to dump. They just want to turn your four corners into a dumping ground. You know? So should I listen to Smitty complain about June anymore? No, you should not.
Nope.
But I'm different. It's all the same difference, family. Mark your four corners. Only invite people beyond those four corners that you wish to invite in. I'm a nice person, but I'm a good listener, but I am a kind, I'm purring.
Oh, here we go.
I'm all these things, but. June, what does the but mean to you?
But stop.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But stop.
I like that. But stop. No. You can't come any further without my permission. I may come to join you, but you just can't come into my four corners. I may decide to venture beyond my border, my four corners. You know, I did my survey. I know what's me. And June, and that's probably the biggest thing and the toughest thing about all this is knowing who we are as individuals.
Yeah.
You know, fully appreciating the gifts that we have. Fully understanding the tolerances that we have. You know, and we always want to be nice. We always want to be friendly. And it don't always work until we know who we are. I know who June Smith is.
I know who Smitty Smith is.
June is friendly aggressive. Don't you dare try to, Lord have mercy. Please don't try to cut in front of that girl at a traffic jam. Oh my God. But you know, family, once we know who we are, then we can kind of laugh at it. But we got to do a survey. We got to mark our territory.
If you come to Smitty, if you come to the house, Smitty will try to sell something. Smitty will stand there and talk to you for a whole hour because he's just so friendly.
I am. You know, I'm one of those folks where you are actually allowed to stop by and visit me unannounced, as long as I'm outside working in the yard. You're allowed. I don't mind. Now, June, on the other hand, Smith and Wesson. Because
I've got stuff to do. I don't have time.
Smith and Wesson.
But the funny thing is, Smitty, after they leave, you're like, oh my God, I just stood there talking to him for an hour and a half. I could have got this, that, and that.
No, man.
Procrastination.
No, that's me, man. No, y'all are welcome to come by and visit Smitty Smith anytime you like. I am the social butterfly.
I'm not, so don't.
So, you know what?
I'm just being honest.
So, that's the chance you take. Who's going to answer the door? Smitty Smith or Smith and Wesson, okay? I don't know what to tell you.
That's why we work so well.
That's why you should probably call. RG.
Dante said, "I like this message. I like this message today. I really needed to."
Yeah,
hear it."
we all
Yes.
do, man. We
Yeah.
all need survey. We all need to mark our territory, do a survey, and then plan with purpose and forethought to grow beyond ourselves, to get bigger, to get better, to get smarter, become wiser, to share it, you know. But there's a minimum space.
Mm-hmm.
There's a minimum four corners, June, that no one is allowed to intrude upon.
Yep.
And you know what, June? That's okay. Because it makes it better, it makes it easier. You know? You can't turn my property into a dumping ground. You can't, you ever, June, you ride down the street and you see this one lot that's got a bunch of used cars, an old couch.
Yes.
You know, yeah. You know, problems.
Mm-hmm.
Problems that I then have to clean up. No, you won't. No, I'll sick June on you. Yes, I will. I'll turn her loose. Hey, family, we're at 18 for the year. So far, we fired 18 landlords, and we're just warming up. We got another 18 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you best believe, June and I, we are committed. We are serious about this, family. We want to help you to go all the way home. You know? And if you like us, please share. Help us get the word out about grants and down payment assistance. Just simply press the share button. And finally, family, as always, I got to remind you, Grits and Grants live and in living color workshop. It's coming up real soon, June, April the 26th, 9 to 11. Go to smittysmith.com. Come out, spend 2 hours with us. I guarantee you it'll be 2 of the best hours that you ever invest in yourself, that you ever invest in your family. You owe it to yourself to expand your boundaries, and we're going to share free but valuable information with you to help you to do just that. Hey, family, look here. Jim and I, we got to go. We got to get to an event. Like we said, we got here late, and we leaving early. But, hey, I am Smitty Smith.
And I am June Smith, River City Blues Realty. We do what we do.
And the mission is simple, to stay blessed in what, June Smith?
Highly flavored.
Hey, I got to go.